mic check, 1 2 1 2 3.
So good morning, everyone. 10:16. I think we're going to wait till 10:30, then we'll start. Hopefully, we get 100 more band members show up because this is our very first economic development AGM. So I do know we have 3 online. So if you're on Facebook over there, we got 2 band members over there. Spread the word. Are we being recorded? We're being recorded too, so we'll just wait another few minutes. Good morning again, everyone. 10:29 a.m. We're going to get started here. But before I do, I'm going to ask Headman Desi to come up here and open us up. I'm asking him because I don't have tobacco, so my apologies. But either which way we pray, we're praying to the same person, right? So, Headman Des, could you open us up, please?
Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you, Lord, for our nation and all the people, the elders, and right from the youngest to the oldest. We thank you. We ask you, Lord, that you would give us a good day and a good meeting. We thank you for all the information that is coming out, and we thank you for everyone. We give thanks today in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hi. Thank you very much, Des. So, first of all, let me say welcome to our very, very first AGM of both our active boards. It was exactly, I believe it was 3 years ago, Head Person Debbie, that I wanted to create another board. I was looking at Chief Lynn Akus's model where she had 2 active boards for her nation of Sakame, so I thought, heck, let's do that, see where it goes, and we really went a long way. And so with that, I gave Head Person Debbie and former Headman Richard Cooters-Arnquill the task to form this new board, which they did. Very pleased with their work, and very pleased with the board that Sparrowhawk is, all their work that they're doing right now. I'm also pleased with PDL of how far they came. Before Alan had it, former Headman Colin Stonechild had it, and then we had COVID, so we got to blame COVID for kind of making everybody stuck, right? Because we were stuck. We weren't allowed to go anywhere. We were stuck at home. So, but COVID was gone. The wheels started getting unstuck, and PDL2 is sure making grounds. Yesterday we had a Economic Alliance meeting with Whitecap Dakota Nation, Enoch Nation, and Satina Nation, and it went really good. We presented our updates from both our boards, and Chief Thomas from Enoch called us trailblazers, because what you guys are going to hear and see is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be trailblazers in different industry. Chief Whitney from Satina was very, very impressed, and those are very advanced nations, right? Same with Chief Bear, Darcy Bear from Whitecap Nation. I was hoping Headman Allen was here, but I didn't know he was still in Edmonton on other band business, so I thought he was back already. But he sends his regrets. Head Person Cicely sends her regrets. She's at home at the moment. We do have Keegan Monagran from PDL to start us off. After that, we got Alex Fallon from Sparrowhawk to finish it off. The agenda is not up there, but I have it here. Could you put it up? The agenda? Yes. Not there. So anyway, we were supposed to start at 10. It's actually 10:32, which is good because we have a lot more people in the crowd now. I think we got 8. We got 10 now online, so hopefully more join. So the agenda is PDL update, Keegan Monagran, followed by Sparrowhawk update, and then lunch, and then that's it. Question and answer period after that. I asked that all questions be said after the presentation, right? So individual presentations. So once Keegan's done, we'll open up the floor. I have to leave here at 11:15. I've been tobaccoed a month ago to go to a pipe ceremony, so I got to do that. When you do that, that's part of our protocol. You have to go to those things, right? So I'm going to turn the chair over to Headman Blaine to take over. We do have Headman Matt and Headman Desi in the crowd also. So with that, again, thank you. Welcome to our very first AGM. With that, I'll hand it over to Keegan Monagran. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Chief Dieter, for those opening remarks, and thank you, Headman Denemy for that prayer. It's always important to start your day off in prayer and end it in prayer. My name is Keegan Monkrand. I work for PPK Developments Limited, and PPK Developments Limited is one of two ECDAC boards that we have on the nation, like Chief Dieter stated. So I'm here to present, who we are, what we do for the nation, and what we're hoping to accomplish here. The purpose of PDL is built around three pillars of bringing wealth to our nation and creating jobs for our people and helping train and develop the next generation. For bringing wealth to the nation, we look at we do that in different ways, whether it's PDL-owned businesses or equity investments or through partnerships. And the reason why we look to bring wealth to the nation is we hope to be able to help our nation in many ways, to supplement programs, to help our post-secondary, our sports and rec, our urban population in different ways in doing that. And another pillar is to create jobs for our nation members, both on and off reserve. On the nation here, we have a very high unemployment rate, and so that's a big concern for Chief and Council, and so we're looking at different ways that we can help our membership in gaining employment. And then training and develop the future generation. We at PDL, we're always thinking about the young ones here, and we think of ways of helping them and getting them, getting them thinking about their futures. And one of the things we did was last week we were able to partner with FHQ Developments and host a career fair on our nation. We had 300 people come to the career fair, and we had over 30 different companies from Mosaic to Enbridge to CN Rail come out and speak with the kids and get them thinking about their futures and that. And so it was really helpful, and it really brought the kids a lot of joy and get them thinking. So with PDL here, these are our board directors. We have Carla Patra, Carla Nuxius, Everett Pinay, Tim Patra, and Joe Patra here. And our board, we also have Headman Alan Bird. He sits as the chairman of the board. Then we have Chief Dieter as the ex officio also. And our board here they're all PPC's members, and they're all diverse in different areas of expertise, whether it be agriculture or law or corporate finance or policy creation. They all bring a different way of thinking, which is very good for the board. It brings different perspectives and different knowledge and ideas and moving forward. So these next couple slides here, I'm just going to talk about PDL's current investments, what we have. I'm going to talk about our 100% owned businesses. I'm going to talk about our partnerships and also our equity investments. So the first business we have, this 100% owned, is our Buffalo Hills gas station and convenience and kitchen here. We opened up roughly 10 months ago in April there, and over these past 10 months, it's been a learning experience, and the store's been doing really great, and we're actually on pace to do $4 million in sales in the first year here, and we're able to create 20 jobs in the community for our membership in that, and we're also able to offer catering to our nation here at our commercial kitchen, and it's been a great success, and we're able to provide a lot of service in that to our membership here. They no longer need to leave the nation to go get gas and tobacco and chips and pop. They can just come right to our store and get all the necessities they need. And then, is that better? And these are our two equity investments here. We have our Meewasin Development Group and Awa Management. Our Awa Management here is between us and Chemco. Chemco is a big industrial construction company based out of Edmonton there, and they offer a wide range of services from fiber optics to electrical engineering, hydrovacing, and more. And so we join forces with them, and basically what we do is, we meet with different industry. We meet with Mosaic and Enbridge and Co-op, and we're trying to get our foot in the door there and be able to get on their vendor lists and bid on jobs, and in order to generate jobs and money in that. And then with our Meewasin Development Group, that's between us and Steel River, who are based out of Calgary. And with that, we just look at different, opportunities for the nation, whether that be Nietzsche funding, a rapid housing initiative, a funeral home, culture center. So we just look at different things that we think that would benefit the nation. Next up is our partnerships. We have two partnerships right now. Our first partnership is with Real Leaf Cannabis here for our cannabis store here on the nation. Our cannabis store, we entered this partnership about a year ago, and throughout this year, we've actually had a great year. In the previous years past, the cannabis store, as many of you know, it wasn't doing the greatest. Sales were stagnant. It was just making enough just to break even. And so with this new partnership, I'm happy to announce that this year, these last 2 quarters, we're profitable, and we're actually going to turn a good profit this year. And with this, we offer a wide range of products for everyone. We're able to create 6 jobs in the community thanks to our cannabis store. And so what we're actually planning on doing here is we're actually looking to construct and build a new cannabis store here on the nation, hopefully along the main drag here, just because, and we anticipate that they'll increase sales just because they'll be along the main strip there, because where it is currently, it's kind of out of the way, and it's hard for a lot of people who don't know our nation that well. It'll be easier access in that, so they won't get lost and they'll be able to find it. Our next partnership here is with GFL. It's our newly formed partnership we have here. GFL is, for those of you who don't know, it's one of the biggest waste management companies in Canada. They offer a wide range of services from hydrovacing to waste, recycle, hazardous waste. And with this, we are just looking to. We're wanting this partnership so that GFL they would help us with our membership in creating jobs and also creating wealth in that. And it's the same concept where again we would be knocking on the door of Enbridge and different companies and signing service agreements and master agreements there for jobs. So future developments, these are 2 developments that we're very close to announcing and we're very excited about. They'll benefit our people, they'll benefit our membership in that both on and off reserve, and we're really excited about it. The first development is for our urban membership here. I know for years and years our membership has stressed to Chief and Council that they need a space. They need a space in the cities where they can come and do programming and get together. And so what we're looking at here is purchasing a warehouse in the city of Regina. And we actually purchased this warehouse, and we sent in an offer and it was accepted. And so right now we're in the process of getting phase 1 environmentals done. We're looking to, it's getting a building inspection, appraisal, and all that stuff that the bank requires to get this done. And with this project here, we're hoping to turn it over to status land and offer programming in that for our nations here. So as you can see, it's a pretty blank slate right now. Where as soon as we get a hold of the property, we do want to finish it off and put up walls and stove and a kitchen area and a big boardroom so that our membership can come there and do activities in that. So the way that this would work is just PDL would purchase the property and then we would just lease it out to the nation as tenants. And then also, we'd also lease out the other side of the building to our partner at Real Leaf there, where they would, I think, hopefully in the future down the road, put up a cannabis store. The next project we're also working on is a funeral home, a PPK funeral home here. And the background around this is about a year ago, PDL was doing due diligence on a funeral home in the Saskatoon area, and the consultants, they advised PDL that this project wasn't feasible, and so PDL decided to go their own way and to construct their own funeral home from scratch, and that's where this idea came about, and with this funeral home here, we're hoping to offer different services and cremation, and offer different products like caskets and urns and all that stuff here. So currently it's in the engineering schematic phase here, and we're hopefully be finished up and be able to start construction in the late spring here. So these are more schematics designs of the funeral home. We're actually going to be placing this funeral home in the RM of the RM of Abernethy, but in Lorley there. We purchased some land from the RM there in Lorley, and this is where we'll be placing the funeral home here. And geez, what else can I say? And yeah, it's a great project. Any questions? Yeah, thanks, Alex. I know that's pretty brief and quick, and it's a lot of information to take in a short amount of time. And myself and my board of directors and chief and council, I know that they'd all be willing to answer questions that you may have.
Hello? Yeah, I got it right here. because I wanted to make sure that it was actually accessible. Because some areas it looked like it was in the warehouse district, which isn't very accessible by bus for urban members.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It is accessible. Along with the property comes a parking lot on the side for membership to come and park in that. And so then we would install, parking stalls and all that good stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Keegan. Thank you for your presentation. I just have a question as to whether you have, if you plan on posting your presentation for everybody to see, because there's a lot of people not here today. And for those that don't have access to technology, I was really hoping that we'd have some hard copies that I could take to some of the people that are interested that don't have access to any technology. So it's just a comment, and I'm hoping that that's a possibility. Also, I noticed you mentioned the Canco gas station and kitchen, and I think we should really thank our membership who paid that bill out of their cows and plows. And I really think we should have an event or something to recognize, how our membership paid for that out of their own money. And I really am thankful for that, because I did not want to see our community left with a huge multi-million-dollar bill. And so I think there should be some recognition for our entire membership, because they paid for that. And hopefully they'll be benefiting from the profits as well, because they're actually paid for it. So that's all I had to say.
Thank you, Head Person Debbie. Thank you, Shalanda. Oh, no. Yeah, Shalanda? Yeah. For those questions, any more questions? One over here. And I could guarantee you, Head Person Debbie, that we will have a recognition day probably on our first anniversary of this building, right? So that'll be, I'm hoping we start at the planning stages right away. And everybody will benefit from it. So we got Chrissy Bird here, or Christina Bird.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just, I guess, I just seen this new business plan, and I see a funeral home. Where are these decisions coming from? And do we have, in a funeral home, you needed a degree to embalm. Is this being fully thought out? And who made that decision for purchasing one?
Well,
That's my first question. Second question, sorry. Second question is, these profits that are happening, where is this money going from these businesses?
So I'll answer your first question. So the first, you asked, who made the decision in that. So first and foremost, for the funeral home, when we were in talks, we knew right away that we would have to consult with our Katayak, the old ones. And so about a year ago, that's exactly what we did, is we came to the Katayak here and we asked them, we brought them the idea of, a funeral home and offering these services. And they all agreed that this would be a great investment for the community to that. And not only that there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of individuals involved, with the funeral home, and a lot of experts and consultants involved, and they all concurred that this was a feasible project and profitable project. And to answer your second question, where does all the money go? Well, a lot of these businesses, like the gas station and the cannabis store, they're still startups. They're still in their first year of operation in that. And so, for instance, with the gas station here, we actually had to borrow money from the nation just to get it up and running, to pay for the fuel, to get the tobacco in, the chips, the pop, and that wasn't cheap. So all the money that we're making from the gas station is going back into paying back the nation, which we do anticipate that will be debt-free and be paid back the nation by the end of the fiscal year, March 31st. And then the second part of the funds will go towards the down payment for the urban warehouse for the center in Regina and that, because just like a mortgage, you need a down payment on a facility like that from the bank.
Thank you. Another question, are we buying land with our land claim or with our colony claim? Is there land being purchased?
The land we purchased? No, that's just paid out of pocket, like from us, like from the profits.
Thank you, Christina. Any more questions? Oh, Debbie over here.
Question by somebody in Regina. And there's just a question by Phyllis McNabb, who is in Regina. I'm just waiting for her is there any way for them to get online and ask a question? Yeah, I know there's a link. She has the link, but is there any way for her to ask the question on that link? Just one way. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll leave it for now until she gets the question to me.
Okay. Any more questions? Oh, one more over here, Shalenda.
So, this just made me think of something when Debbie was talking there. And, it just made me realize, the building is a community-owned building because we did pay for it, right? So would we be entitled to receiving monthly statements on the financials through mail?
Sorry, what was the question? You want to receive?
Are we able to receive monthly financial statements or quarterly financial statements on the profits or the earnings and sales and all of that for the community center?
That's not up to me to decide. That's something that I would have to bring to the board of directors for them to distinguish, or else chief and council. I can't make any promises. It's above my purview.
Okay, so then what I'll do then is I'll direct that to the chief. Where did the chief go? Will we be getting, because it is community owned, will we be getting monthly or quarterly statements on the earnings of the businesses within the center?
Thank you, Shalenda. Again, I'm going to have to go through the right channels. It will have to go through the board of directors, just like the Temple Gardens has to go through their board of directors for any kind of financials or anything, right? We are shareholders, but we're also arm lengths away shareholders, right? So once we get the okay from the board of directors that they're willing to share those, which they should be doing today, it is an AGM, then we'll do it, right? Yeah, I know. So that's a question for our That's right, yeah.
So what's the issue?
I have no idea what the issue is.
This is like when it comes to the chief administration officer, he's supposed to be here for this. And if you're talking financials, your chief financial officer should be present. So what is going on?
Not for the boards, not for the boards.
Well, the chief administration officer is on the board, so he should be here.
Well, yeah, Joe's on the boards. I don't know what the problem is. I was hoping all board members would have showed up. We do have one board member.
So what's the disciplinary action? Because each time that we've had financial situations, they have not been present. I've never seen Joe or Sybil attend a meeting in Regina when it came to financial stuff. So I would like to know what the disciplinary action is, because attendance is important when it comes to financials and business meetings.
Right. So right now, I don't know what the answer is to your question in regards to discipline, but I will get back to you. We will be meeting next week.
Next week, okay.
On the 7th.
On the 7th?
In the nation here, yes. Council meeting.
And that will be raised at that.
I will raise it. I will raise it. And we'll go from there. So with that, again, we'll get the okay from the board of directors to see if they're going to be releasing those numbers soon on all areas of what you just touched on, Keegan. Same with, I'm looking at Alex Fallon. Our nation members need to see those numbers, right? So with that, any more questions? Oh, Debbie has one on the line. Sorry.
Okay, Phyllis, go ahead. Oh, Phyllis, start over again.
Okay. Whenever they're ready.
Can you ask your question now? You're on the mic.
Hello. Am I on?
You're on the mic.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. My question is that you guys are going to purchase a 9,000 square feet building in Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm just wanting to know, would I be able to lease a business in the 9,000 square feet and lease it? Because I've been asking for, I would rather lease it to our nation for rent for approximately maybe 3,500 square feet for maybe hopefully a 90 space daycare. So I'm wondering if that would be in the making. And if I could start writing that in my business proposal to the nation.
Phyllis,
Sparrowhawk and
Phyllis, I'm
Yeah.
just going to reiterate what you're saying, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, Phyllis is just wondering, with that new building that is in the works, the warehouse building, if she could, propose that her daycare rent from that rather than rent from outside, but because that's her business plan at the moment. And so I'm wondering if you could maybe give her some, maybe, a little bit of a direction or answer on that possibility.
So her question is she was hoping to rent out space in the new facility in Regina to house her daycare center. Yeah, absolutely. If you could get her to send me her contact information and that, I'd love to see her business plan and all that stuff, and that's something that I could bring to the board and we could speak about. Absolutely.
Okay, we got a question here from Dale.
Yes, I was just wondering what kind of benefit plan you have for all your workers here out of these businesses? The benefit plan that the workers get out of the store and the kitchen. The benefit plan? Like, do they pay into the benefits and get health benefits and all that from the workers?
Like
Employee benefits.
Oh, and like not wages, like just benefits? Well, they get paid. They do get paid holiday pay, and then they also pay into to EI. But in terms of like straight health benefits, like like dental or eyeglasses, no, they don't get health benefits like that. No.
Why is that?
Why is that?
It's a business entity, isn't it?
Yes.
You guys could get your benefits. How is that different by workers for EI?
Like for each business, that it's really up to the individual business to decide if they're going to offer benefits and that to their employees. But again, like that's something that I'll bring up to the board if in the future in the new fiscal year is if we look at adding more benefits to our employees. Yeah, like in the first year of business, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and it's a really big learning curve in that for everybody. It's hard to consider so many things at once. Yeah. Like I said, like I do hear your concerns, and I will bring it up to the board of directors and that. All right. Well, thank you for your time and for listening.
I think we got, no? Oh, you want? I got to go with Terry for a minute. So thank you. Any more questions? They're all right here, Auntie Janet.
I'm sorry, but I just want to hear, you bought the one in Regina, you secured the lease in Regina, and you bought the organization in Lorley for the funeral home. Where's the money coming from? And why isn't there some kind of rationale as to why they were bought, where they were bought from? I'm kind of curious as to the money function. Like, is there a long-term forecast as to what is available? Like, I know with a funeral home, it's going to take a lot of work. Like, you're not done yet. And with the warehouse district, that again is a lot of renovation. So is there a big pool of money that you're looking into, or is this part of our nation's net fund or whatever it's called? Like, I'm just curious about the money, and I wish there was a budget here. I wish there was a long-term forecast, even a short-term investment. Like, I don't see any numbers here. I'm just hearing one person talk, and I'm rather confused.
Absolutely. I'll speak on the warehouse first, and then I'll speak on the funeral home here. So in terms of the warehouse here, your question is, where are we getting the money for the warehouse? And so what we're doing is we went to the bank and we told them that we have 25% down to purchase this warehouse. So the bank will supply us a loan for the 75%. We put in the 25%, and that's how we purchase the warehouse and get the renovations done. And that 25% comes from the profits of our gas station. Like I said earlier, we had to borrow money from the First Nation to get the gas station up and running, but we will be paid, the First Nation will be paid in full by the end of March 31st and then the money left over, the profits that we haven't paid back to the First Nation, will go into this warehouse. And then in terms of the funeral home, for a lot of our soft costs, we've been asking the government of Canada and applying for a lot of grants, and we've been successful in getting a lot of these grants and that covered. And then what's not covered is the hard costs, the equipment and that, which we'll get through again a loan from the bank. And then the profits in that from the funeral home will go into paying for the loan in itself. So your concern is, are you as a member, are you paying for this warehouse or funeral home or all that stuff? Or is the First Nation paying for it? No, we're trying to become self-efficient and get loans and pay for it ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a general theme here, that people need to see some numbers from an actual audit and to see where exactly we stand and whatnot. So I think that's kind of the bottom line. I have a question here also from Michelle in Regina and regarding the funeral home. Is the staff for the funeral home in place, and is there going to be any training, or will that be posted eventually when you're ready?
Yeah, absolutely. When that time's come, we will be posting the jobs for the funeral home and that, and so we are looking at that we will be hiring our membership in that for the funeral home.
But right now, it's just in preliminary stages of planning? Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely, and just like Sparrowhawk and just like the First Nation, PDL does have its own audit in that, and I will speak to the board of directors about about releasing our audit and all of that stuff and all the the business plans and paperwork that you guys are requesting.
I wanted budget. I wanted some kind of invoice. I'm sorry. I think I got a big enough voice.
Yeah, but the people online.
Oh, okay. So I'm just kind of wondering about, I would have liked to see a written statement. Like you're professional. So you should be going into a meeting professionally. Because it's all great when you talk about it, but let us read about it later. So I don't know. I'm kind of blown away by this meeting. I thought it would be more advanced. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, but yeah, thank you for all the questions and concerns you guys have, and if that was the last question, I think Alex wants to present his presentation on Sparrowhawk and the spa and all that other stuff. Thank you.
One more. I just had one more question for you. Because Phyllis called in and she had ideas. I've also passed on quite a few different ideas to the council, and I'm not sure if they've talked about any of those ideas. I had ideas about partnering with schools because Fellinger's in the city is for sale for less than $1 million. And it's a well-known beef shop, and we're Buffalo people. And buffalo is becoming more popular again because it's a healthy meat. And my idea was that we could partner with schools because they're doing land-based programs now in the city where they actually go out into the world and they learn things and they do things like how to make leather, stuff like that. Like they're actually teaching them traditional ways. And there was a building for a processing plant. And partnering with schools and bringing in land-based, teaching students to learn how to, butcher a buffalo, skin it, use its hide, use its bones, like teaching the kids how to use everything of the animal, because that's how you respect the animal, right? So, that was one of the ideas and stuff like that. I don't know if there's room in that building to do something like that, but it's something that we should definitely get into, because that would make us trailblazers in the traditional ways of who we are as a people.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think that's a tremendous idea. I think if yourself or any more of our membership, have ideas, to please reach out to myself or Alex or our active boards, and we could discuss it more and we could do more due diligence and look at these ideas from our membership. I think that's tremendous.
Thank you, Keegan.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah. So great to be here today. My name is Alex Fallon. I'm the CEO of Sparrowhawk Development. I see quite a few people who I've met before, but also some new faces. And so it's great to meet everyone, and I know there's some people online as well. I thought before I got into the detail, I would tell you a little bit about myself. I'm still new in the role, and I'm new to the community, and there are many people who I haven't had the chance to meet yet. So I was born in Saskatoon, single mom. She worked at Costco as a cashier, and went to school in Saskatoon for many years, and then my family moved actually abroad, overseas. Came back to Saskatoon about 20 years ago and started working. So my background is in business and economics, which is helpful when it comes to looking at investments and deals. And I also have a law degree as well, which helps with looking at contracts and business deals. Most importantly, those are my kids, Keaton and Scarlett. They are 14 and 12 now. I still think they're little, but they're 14 and 12. And important to remember as well, I am an employee of Sparrowhawk. So I work for Sparrowhawk. Sparrowhawk works for the nation. I'm not a consultant. I get paid a day job. That's my role. That's my job. So today I want to go over 3 items. I want to tell you a little about Sparrowhawk, the company first, so you understand how it was established, understand the board of directors and the people who are involved, and also what our mandate is. Also focus on giving everyone a good overview of Temple Gardens Hotel and Spa, which of course belongs to the nation. And also I'll talk about some of the other opportunities we're looking at. I can't go into specific detail about all the opportunities. Some of them are still underway, but I'm happy to share a couple of the opportunities we're looking at. So first of all, the purpose of Sparrowhawk, and have to give Chief and Council credit for setting up economic development corporations. There are still several First Nations in Saskatchewan who don't have economic development corporations, so I think that's a big step forward. But our job at Sparrowhawk is, very focused on 2 things. That is providing financial benefit and community benefit to the nation. So we want to make profits, and we want to give those profits back to the nation to benefit the community. That's our job. That's my job. So the board of directors, the important thing to note here is we do have band members on our board, and want to thank them for their time because all of them also have day jobs, so it's a lot of work commitment from them. We have band member Nathan, Trisha, who's here today, is band member, and also Lorraine Bellegarde, who is probably watching at home, so hello, Lorraine. Our board chair is Chris Sickott. He's a First Nations business person from Treaty 6. And then we also have a couple of board members who have some excellent business experience. We also have the ECDEV head person of the nation sits on our board. Most recently it was Debbie, so thank you for your service over the last years. And so someone will be taking Debbie's role. And we have also now improved our process so that Chief Dieter will attend board meetings and be there in person as well. So we have band members, we have a head person, we'll have the chief in the room, and we've got business experience. Sparrowhawk was specifically set up separate to chief and council so that we can operate as an independent business. Gives us a little bit more freedom and a good governance structure to focus on the business side and obviously leave the running of the nation to chief and council and the community members. I always include this quote in my presentations because I heard it on it was kind of my first day at Sparrowhawk about a year ago. It was my first board meetings. And it was this quote, which is, I take my role very seriously because of this. We have to remember that many PPK band members have suffered and persevered for Sparrowhawk to be here today. So our company is 1 year old, but it's really based on generations and generations of people who got PPK to where it is today, so that we could have an economic development corporation. Okay, first business opportunity, I will talk about Temple Gardens Hotel and Spa. I'll call it the hotel for now because it's a long name. Was everyone in this room aware that PPK owns the hotel? Most people? Okay. So purchased in about August 2022. I joined in January 2023 and since then been responsible for managing the hotel. So I want a bit of a quiz to get everyone engaged in the audience here today, but also I want to clarify some different things and questions I often get asked about the hotel. So the first question is, was trust money used to buy Temple Gardens Hotel and Spa? What do people think when they hear that question? I should have bought prizes, but what do you think the community, how do you think the community would answer this question? So someone said yes, another yes. Okay, I can't see the people at home, but we have a couple people in the audience saying yes. Ooh. It's actually no. So no trust funds were used to purchase the hotel. The owner of the hotel, it's a big, huge company in Montreal or Toronto, were looking to sell it, and PPK Sparrowhawk was one of the companies they were talking to. So we borrowed the money to purchase the hotel, not from a bank, but actually from the current owners. So the current owners wanted to sell it. They'd lend us the money to buy it, and we would pay them back. Because of that, we got a very good interest rate. I think at the moment, interest rates are 5.5%, something like that. And the percentage we got is 2%. So in some ways, very grateful that the seller wanted to work with us to ensure we were able to buy it and provide us with the funds, not having to go to a bank, not having to use PPK trust money. Also this one, I've been asked this one like 20 times. Are there free rooms for chief, for council, for band members? What do you think? No, we got rid of those. Someone was kind of gifted some gold cards, but they are canceled forever, so they don't exist. So as of right now, there are no perks, no benefits for the board, for band members, but we do provide a 15% discount for all First Status First Nations in Saskatchewan. So if you do use the hotel, let me check with the hotel and double check that. Did he get the 10%? He got nothing? Let's talk afterwards and we'll reimburse that. Thanks for letting me know. So I want to get into some specific numbers about the hotel to show the membership how it's performing and what kind of investment the hotel was for the nation. So these numbers, they're not my numbers. They come from the Hotel Association of Saskatchewan that tracks all hotel numbers. And this is occupancy rate, basically how busy, how full is the hotel on any given day. And over here you have the average hotel in Moose Jaw. You've got the whole average for the whole province of Saskatchewan, so hundreds of hotels. And then you've got what we call the best hotels, which are some of the larger ones, like the Bedsboro, Saskatoon. What's the Regina one? Hotel Sask. I think Dakota Dunes would be included in that as well. And then you've got PPK Hotel Temple Gardens. It is by far outperforming all the hotels in Saskatchewan, even the best hotels. Our average is just under 70%. I know that's gone up recently. Last couple of weekends, the hotel has been sold out. Very rare for a hotel to sell out in Saskatchewan. That's happened multiple times lately. The renovations are helping with that, and I'll speak to them in a second. But if you had to buy any hotel in Saskatchewan, that's a pretty good indicator of how popular the hotel is. This is another graph, and it shows how much money we're getting for each room on average. So different rooms cost different amounts of money, small room, big room, and the price is different on different days. If it's the weekend, if it's a holiday season, if it's a random Tuesday afternoon, the price of that hotel will be different. Again, independent numbers. When you look at the best hotels, Saskatchewan, Moose Jaw, your hotel is earning by far the most amount of money per room. Because people like to go there for the spa, the casinos across the road attached by a skywalk, Moose Jaw, a lot of tourist things to do in Moose Jaw, and a great hotel. So we are almost double the other hotels in Moose Jaw. So again, a good indication that this is a very good investment in Saskatchewan. So just to summarize, on average, more people staying at Temple Gardens than any hotel in Saskatchewan. More revenue, more income per room than any hotel in Saskatchewan. And you put those stats together, to me, it indicates it's the best performing hotel in the province. And it's now owned by the nation, 100%. No partnership, no trust money, and we also didn't have to go to the bank. So pretty good start for Sparrowhawk. I've got to give credit to Chief and Council and the people before me who, and the nation, I guess, who made the decision to purchase that hotel, because so far, I think we're off to a good start. One thing about the property, if you've been there, is it needed to be updated. It was built in 1991, 92, 94. So it's not that old actually, but for hotels it needs to be updated. So this is one of the new renovated rooms. Our commitment was to renovate the entire hotel, and I'm pleased to say that we've completed the first phase. About 50 rooms are done. Guests are using those rooms, and they're paying more for those rooms. So if customers have the choice between an old room and a renovated room, they'll often pick the renovated room, pay a little bit more money. That helps us pay for the renovations and make more money. The other thing that I think a lot of people in the nation maybe aren't aware of this, and this is another reason why I think, in my view, it was a very good investment by PPK to purchase the hotel. So not only did we purchase the hotel for, I think it was around $23 million, which I think on its own would be a good investment. PPK owns 50% of the Casino Moose Jaw building. So it's attached to the hotel by a skywalk, and PPK owns 50% of that building. We get rent from that building. It doesn't cost us anything. We don't have to renovate it. It's just there. It's earning a monthly fee. As part of this same investment for that same 20-some million dollars, PPK owns 2 properties in Moose Jaw. Right downtown, 2 blocks from the hotel, very large. There's parking. They're very large lots. Almost takes up a whole corner of downtown. Both of those properties have old buildings on there that need to be probably knocked down. There's some environmental issues from an old gas station, but that's a huge opportunity for the nation Sparrowhawk to decide what we want to do with that property, whether it's commercial, maybe it's residential, condos, affordable housing, community housing, etc. That decision has been made because we need to figure out a business plan for that first. How much does it cost to knock down the buildings? What could you build there? How much would it cost to build that? Are you going to make a profit or are you going to lose money? Building things is expensive. So want to make sure the members are aware that not only is it the hotel, it's 50% ownership of the casino building and 100% of two valuable properties and land in Moose Jaw. I don't know why that's flickering, but anyway. Maybe a little bit early to say, but if you'd ask me when you look at what was included in that investment, the hotel, the casino building, and two pieces of land, to me, it looks like a good investment. So I would say yes, and very pleased to say that even when you take out all the costs of Sparrowhawk, the staff at the hotel, the bills to run the hotel, we've made a profit this year. So we made a profit of over $1 million in our first year. That money will go into future investments, and when the time is right, once it's grown a little bit, the plan is to provide funding back to the nation and back to the community. It's only our first 12 months, so that decisions, we're going to look at it, but what a great start for the first 12 months. This is a photo from, I think, our first board meeting in Regina. And again, whoever was involved in the decision to purchase the hotel, it wasn't me, I can't take credit for it, but in my view, it's a great start for a brand new economic development company. That didn't exist a year and a half ago, I think. So it's a long marathon economic development, but for the first 52 weeks, it's a very good start. Okay, so I've talked about the hotel. I want to talk a little bit about our plans for the future. Our focus at the moment is on 3 other sectors. The land I talked about in Moose Jaw, trying to figure out what to do with that. We can't rush into it and just build something. We have to figure out how much it's going to cost, what the risks are, and how's it going to make money. We could probably go borrow money tomorrow to build something, but if it loses money, we're not going to do that. The third one is natural resources. Everyone who's grown up in Saskatchewan knows natural resources, potash, uranium, wheat, oil and gas. Those are valuable things provided by Mother Earth, and we have to decide how we want to operate in that sector. And then we're also looking at a industrial, kind of a manufacturing company that has lots of trade jobs, metal fab, carpentry, electricians, and we think those are good opportunities to train youngsters so that they can get a job. The trades pay well, there's demand for those jobs, and so we want to look at a company that can has jobs for members. I've only started learning more about the treaties, but I was reading the TRC calls to action, and of course it reminded everyone in Canada that when it comes to the development of natural resources in Saskatchewan, First Nations must, and they should have been, but they absolutely must now be part of that consultation process. I think they have to give permission, they have to be involved, and they have to benefit from the development. There's a lot of development that has gone into Saskatchewan, obviously, where that hasn't happened, and we want to make sure it does for PPK. I feel like I'm giving a bad history lesson, but this is a photo from when the government and the government of Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, I believed, signed the Natural Resources Transfer Act. And what it did was it gave the provinces jurisdiction, or it gave the province the permission to manage its natural resources how it wanted. So it went from the federal government of Canada to the provinces, and I think most people would argue that First Nations were not consulted, not involved, not part of that deal, and the province kind of managed the natural resources in Saskatchewan. And now, of course, there's a big discussion, some legal action around First Nations being involved in natural resources development in Saskatchewan. And, obviously the treaties, when they talked about the depth of a plow, at that time, no one understood that, well, maybe the product was deeper down, but the intention, I think, was still to share that no matter if it was 100 meters, 10 meters down or hundreds of meters down. So this, for example, is a map of the resources in Saskatchewan. Uranium, the yellow in the north, potash is the pink, and there are others, helium, lithium, coal, oil and gas, etc. When it comes to Canada's economy, the natural resources are the number one sector for jobs and for profits. And companies in Saskatchewan have made significant profits over the years, and more First Nations need to be involved in that sector. So it's something we want to look at. A lot of natural resources in Treaty 4 territory, of course, too. Right around here, actually. There's companies that have land rights to minerals in and around PPK, and I think the nation should be involved in that and profit from that. Another example, helium investment. So again, Treaty 4 territory, another good mineral, a critical mineral that can be sold for profits. This is an example, just as an example of a helium facility. This one's in Alberta, built by a Saskatchewan company. And, it's not a giant mine site. You're not digging, putting people underground. It's kind of like an oil and gas extraction facility. So pretty small. But these are operating in Alberta, and there are plans to operate them in Saskatchewan. And again, it's something we want to look at, be part of, especially when they're in PPK's backyard. So on my first day in the job, I went to the Google and searched up the Saskatchewan Indigenous Investment Finance Corp. It is a government of Saskatchewan program, and it was created to help First Nations get into the mining sector or agriculture sector and have ownership in the natural resource. So not the trucking company or the catering company actually own the resource. It's very expensive to get into the resource sector. Usually you have to be a big company or you need to borrow a lot of money, and it's risky. Sometimes the price goes down, sometimes there's a problem with the mine, all sorts of problems. So what this program does is it provides a 100% loan guarantee. So if PPK, a Sparrowhawk, was to apply to this program and be successful, we're able to borrow, say, $25 million from a bank, invest it. If that investment goes wrong, doesn't make a profit, there is zero risk to Sparrowhawk or the nation. We don't have to pay it back. The loan guarantee from the government would kick in and pay that loan. The government of Saskatchewan has taken $75 million and set it aside for this program. Anyone want to guess how many First Nations have so far received funding from this program? Des is right, 0. 0. So my hope is we're the first, or at least we're one of the ones that access this funding. It's there, it's government, we can invest it, there's no risk, into resources, into ownership, in Treaty 4, into the minerals. That's what we are working on that every single day, and I hope we'll have some good news to announce on that in the very near future. So watch the space. Yeah, cross your fingers. Exactly. So I can say we have submitted an application, hundreds of pages. I think it's the best application the government may have received, and so again, cross our fingers. Okay, so the fourth opportunity we're looking at is in the kind of industrial manufacturing trade sector. Company we're looking at has about 120, 130 employees at the moment, all type of skilled trades, management, administration, accounting. They provide services to the mines all over Saskatchewan. And this is one of the opportunities we're looking at, and we're looking at others. We want to purchase companies that are already making a profit, already have employees, already have jobs, already have customers, have been around for a long time, so that they have made a profit and done well. So one of the companies we're looking at has been around for, I think it's like 32 years, and they've made a profit. Those are the type of companies we want to look at. So, I'm very proud. I think the board should be very proud. I hope Chief and Council and the community are very proud of what we've managed to accomplish only in 52 Fridays, 52 weeks, 12 months. That's where we're up to. And so the exciting part is looking forward to 12 months from now at the next AGM, what can we announce? How's the hotel going? How are other investments going? What are we doing with the land? And keep progressing. So we've got a good start, but now the hard work starts. My own goal that I wrote down when I started was to be one of the best economic development corporations in Canada. Not just Saskatchewan, but there's no reason why we can't make investments that put Pepixis, put Sparrowhawk in the best in Canada. I think there's an opportunity to look at investments in Saskatchewan, across Canada, and just grow to be very successful. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to be here in a year talking about just the hotel. I want to have other investments and other profits. So I do have our financial statements. They've been audited by an independent accounting firm. They're available. We can print some copies. I can email them to the nation. I'm not an accounting expert, and our accountant is. He couldn't be here today on a Saturday. He's with his family. But again, you can see our revenue for the year, $2.9 million in 12 months. That's more money than you could ever imagine. That shows, again, to me, that the hotel was a good investment. It's bringing in $2.9 million in 12 months. Obviously, there's a cost to run the hotel. We have to pay the loan back. We have to pay the employees. We have to pay renovations. But it's making a profit in its first year we've had it. So this was, our actual for the end of last 12 months. a profit of $1.4 million. Our goal for next year is to increase that, 1.8 million. And then we have a 10-year forecast that gets us up to around 4 or 5 million in the next few years. So that's our kind of financial goal for next year. That's it. Ooh. Can you maybe go back to I'll go back to, how do you make that big? Oops. Yeah, happy to answer any questions.
I'm going to give him the mic.
Let me finish my question. Let me finish. 23 million bucks could have built something. 23 million dollars could have made our own temple garden out here, or over there, or someplace. Could have had our own temple garden, right? Why go buy and renovate something? We had 23 million bucks. Could have built it right out here. Right out here are people. We don't get nothing. A little building, big deal. What else do we get? A water plant, big deal. What else you guys gonna spend out of this? How do you guys make money out of that? You guys ain't gonna make money out of that. You guys gonna rent? Who's making? You guys are making the money. Our people ain't gonna make shit out from that, right? Could have spent $23 million on something else. Could have went to the people first. Yeah. That's my concern. Should have went to the people. That's all I gotta say, you guys. But you know, you guys should have went to the people first. Everybody should have went to the people first. You guys got all these concerts, everybody has jobs out here, right? Not everybody. Yeah. These guys could have went to the people and told them we're having a meeting. Let's have a vote on this. No, it doesn't go down. Yeah. You know, you guys get better, you know, it's not good. I'm going to do it.
Todd.
I know he's spent money already. What's he going to do? Nothing.
Sorry, was it Todd? So I hear the feedback and I'll take that in. I think the answer to that question is we need to remember we did not have $23 million. It didn't exist. We had zero. And we went to the hotel. They wanted to sell it. We said, we're trying to do economic development for our nation. We'd like to own something so that we can make a profit, so that we have the money to do more things on reserve and give to the people. And I think, you know, I feel very fortunate that that company agreed to do that. And we couldn't go to the bank and borrow that money. We couldn't go to a bank and say, give us $23 million. And the owner of the hotel lent us that money. And we're only paying back a little bit per month, less than we'd have to pay back a bank. And because of that, we've made over $1 million cash in our bank account that is not mine. I'm not a consultant. I don't get, you know, it's PPK's money, and we're going to use that. But it's going to take 1, 2, 3 years to get more money to build things.
I also wanted to mention that there's a very defined plan, and I don't know, maybe one of the board members could speak to that, you know, regarding, you know, this new endeavor and future endeavors and how the percentages are going to be determined on any kind of profits. Could anybody speak to that? Maybe Tricia or Alex?
Yeah. So the plan was a couple steps. First was to find an investment that made money. But we didn't have to invest our own money because we didn't have it. So that was step one. Step 2 was managing the hotel so that we made a profit. So we had to change things at the hotel. We've made sure it's profitable, which is the number one thing. Now we have our profits. We need to decide if we invest those in other opportunities to make more money, or at some point in the future, for sure, the purpose and intent and strategy of Sparrowhawk is to return profits and money to the shareholder, which is the nation. So it's not going to happen in our first year. Otherwise, we would just close down if we didn't have any money. But once that grows, those profits belong to the nation, period.
There was also one question online that was communicated to me through text message. When we define membership, we know that our membership is throughout North America, and that's basically our community, our land of origin. So I think this member would like to know, when we talk about community, are we inclusive of our membership throughout North America and so on?
Yeah, it's a great question, a good reminder that because people are all across Canada. And so in terms of the profits, absolutely that goes to the nation. Is that for all the members? And then, like I said, my goal is not only to do investments in Saskatchewan. If there's investment in other communities where we have members, it's absolutely something we would look at. We want to help entrepreneurs, we want to help small businesses, and so, again, in the years to come, for sure.
I should have asked this question also when Tegan was up, but have you looked into the designation of these properties that you're getting in Moose Jaw and Regina as PPK's land ownership? I mean, turning it into a reserve. So there will be status recognized when we do go there, so we'll get 10% off anyways.
Does this work? No. Technology. Well, so I think the question was around designation of the reserve land. So at the moment, the land, both the hotel and those two properties, is classed as municipal city land. So it's under the city's tax code. We pay property tax. So absolutely, one of the things we are starting to look at is, should it be converted to reserve status? How does that impact the land, what we can do with the land? Or do we leave it as is for a while? But we have to decide that, and so we've just started thinking about that. Yep, for sure. I know the strategy of PPK is to buy more land, make it part of the reserve land, and absolutely we'll look at that. Can you use this?
Yeah, my concern with making the Moose Jaw Temple Gardens reserve land, and this is just my own opinion, the long-term plan is to gain more equity on that hotel and make it a purchase opportunity for anyone. And so that's just my own opinion. I know, we're looking at the short-term plan of personal, advantages, but the long-term plan is to probably, have that as a substantial increase in equity and purchase for anybody, not just First Nations. That's just my own opinion. Anyways, here's Shalanda.
I thank you for, I just wanted to thank you for putting numbers up and listening and hearing. It's nice to see that kind of stuff because, I mean, if it's not there, it's just hearsay, right? The other thing I wanted to say is I think it's great that you're looking into helium. I do believe that that's the renewable resource of the future. It's like the give off of it is non-toxic, right? When you're separating the molecules and stuff like that. I think it's a great idea. So I'm glad that you're looking into that and actually taking the 6 inches plow blade's depth seriously, because that is a part of our treaties and it's been violated for 150 plus years. So I do appreciate that. I like that. And I noticed you had that other one highlighted as well. You had a page with the renewable resources up, and you had helium on the one side and another bitumen, bitumen, yeah. So because you have it as a potential there. So I was just kind of wondering if you could explain that a little bit more, because I've never heard of that kind of resource.
Yeah, no, thank you for those comments. So when you think of Saskatchewan, and you think of natural resources, you have the mining side, minerals, and you have the agriculture side, lentils, peas, wheat. On the mineral side, the government of Canada and internationally, they have picked, I think it's 32, I'll need to check, but they've designated some minerals as critical minerals. And these are minerals that are critical to the economy, to selling them internationally and utilizing what's in Saskatchewan. So some of the most popular ones at the moment are helium, lithium, and bitumen. Helium, for example, is used in aerospace for the rocket ships they send up. It's used in hospitals for MRI scans. It's used in industrial oil and gas sector for to detect leaks in pipes, so there aren't environmental accidents, for example. Lithium is more used in electric vehicles, batteries, so that's a sector of the future. And bitumen, I need to read more about, but I think it's more like an oil and gas product. But again, all of this in Treaty 4 and also the traditional lands, and you know what we want is ownership too. Mm-hmm. Questions are good.
When you're talking about switching the land into reserve land, in our land plans, we were awarded 18,000 acres. So would that give us a loophole to process our land quicker because we have the right to any land within the Treaty 4 territory? That's how our settlement lists it. So would that be able, like, would that allow us to bypass a lot of those regulatory, you know, political policy, whatever things, right? Whatever you want to call them. Like, I think that's something worth looking into because it's awarded federally anywhere within the 3 to 4 territories.
Right. Yeah, good point, and I'll definitely take that away to the board and talk about that a little bit more, because you're right, now that the settlement is done, have the reserve entitlement, the land, it's about acquiring land and making it part of the reserve. Any more? Good question, the renovations. So, and I should have mentioned in my slide, I forgot. The renovations created, I think it was 12 jobs for PPK band members. Tiling, there was a young guy I met who was doing some of the plastering in the hotel. So phase one is done. It took a year. We have another 110 rooms to do. So our goal is to be done that by the end of 2025. And hopefully sooner, but that would be, has to be done by then. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most important question. When I hear the words economic development, really all it means is jobs. Like, we want economic development so we can have jobs. And, we want to hire more band members in the hotel, on the renovation side, in the kitchen, in the rooms, in management. And so if you do know family members who, are looking, have experience in those areas, then definitely reach out and want the band members to be employed.
Alex, I just wanted to clarify, there was a very good, interesting and very good question, just identifying you and Sparrowhawk and kind of, ensuring our community that we have no relation to the trust for our claims. And so we are in no way connected to them at all. And so I just wanted to make sure that the community and our membership know that fact.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Absolutely. We've received $0 from the trust because the trust is meant for other things. And, we'll focus on using our profits to reinvest. Okay, well, yeah, first of all, thank you everyone for, giving up your time to be here today on a Saturday. One more question. The riders.
Besides the board and the few jobs that are available at the hotel, what is your plan to develop more job opportunities for people on the reserve?
So we've taken one step, and we need to do more. So the first one was working with the nation and one of the colleges on a pre-employment training program for people who wanted to work in the hotel, cleaning rooms, front desk, whatever the job is. And we're providing those students with work experience in the hotel so they can work for the summer, a few weeks, get some experience and learn.
You misunderstood my question. I was asking, besides the hotel, what other opportunities are you looking towards developing jobs on reserve?
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so the question was more about additional jobs besides the hotel. So Sparrowhawk's focus is off reserve. So we're going to focus more on those natural resources sector, manufacturing. PDL, Keegan and his team have more focus on reserve. But when we look at our next investment and the investment after that, absolutely it's, step one, it has to make sense on the money side to make a profit, and then step two is the employment. So again, I want to be back here in 12 months' time saying we've hired 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the number is, jobs. So, we need more companies to create those jobs. Sparrowhawk doesn't focus on reserve, that'd be PDL. Yeah, and I think that goes back to the idea of having two. Yeah, our hope is right, but those profits would go back to the nation, and then they could use them to build. Yeah. Yeah, so every year we look at the profits that are left and determine if there's enough to provide it back to the nation. So year one we haven't. We needed to start, do the renovations, but every year we'll look at that. The board, the nation will decide how much to provide back. And you got to get that balance right of, if we gave it all back today, we'd be back with no money to invest, right? So we have to do both. There has to be profits that go back to the nation, for the community, for training, for housing, and there has to be profits that buy the next company so that in 5-10 years, Sparrowhawk has 6 companies, 500 jobs, $10 million. So I know it's patience, but that's, yeah. Not Sparrowhawk, I think it'd be the projects Keegan was talking about. Not for Sparrowhawk, yeah, the answer's no. Yeah. Well,
I think that's a good differentiation, though, that you bring up, you know, the fact that there is 2 economic development groups, both with their own premise as to how they're going to function and work with the nation as a whole. I think that's an important differentiation to take note of.
yeah, we don't want to be competing, you know, PDL, Keegan's doing great work, and there would be, yeah, separate. Was there one more question, and then? Okay, go ahead.
So this is kind of off topic, but I noticed that Joe Petra's here, and I wanted to ask you directly, because Keegan was here earlier doing his presentation, and I noticed that there wasn't any numbers that were being shown. And since the PPK's members paid for the community center out of their money, which was the cows and plows, are we going to be getting monthly or quarterly statements on the finances of the businesses, like the gas station, the kitchen, all of that stuff? Statements telling us what's going on.
Hi. I'm just going to say thank the elder for the prayer to start today. Look, the answer to your question is usually, like, these businesses haven't been in operation for more than a year, so they have to, their year ends from January to December, right? So their audit is just starting now for the year. So they won't have financials, true financials. I can post numbers like that, but they won't be true financials, right? So I can say this and that, but that, again, the board will be the ones that will say, yes, this is, we give it to the counselor who's in charge of the portfolio, that they come up to the presentation of the audit of that year, right? That's what an AGM is supposed to be. So at this time, I know we didn't prepare our audit because it's just starting now, right? Usually months after the year ends, they start an audit. So they won't, you won't have true financials until probably, I'm going to say May from prior year, because that's how audits usually take that long, right? So it's I know Sparrowhawk probably just went through their audit. They're just finally finishing their audit for December. So they won't have true numbers until such a time as that time too, right? So until then, I guess it'll be up to the board to say, yes, we're going to make a presentation to the membership, but the way these work is, the board sits there, the shareholders are the chief and council, they make a presentation to the chief and council, and that's why the chief and council report to the membership on what's happening in those organizations. So moving forward, that's why when we do our audit, like I'm sure they're just drafting an audit right now, but they haven't completed an audit, right? So us also, is your audit complete, or was that a draft?
Yeah,
That's prior year, that's 2022, that's not this year, right? That's last year's audit, right?
Alex, can you please put that on a mic so that everybody can hear?
So the question from the audience was, how and when are the Sparrowhawk financial statements available? So now that we've presented them to the community and the shareholders, that was our first step. Now we can put them on our website. So sparrowhawkdevelopments.com. Once Chief and Council reviews them at the next meeting, they'll be available. I'm going to be around, stay for a bit of lunch. If there are more questions, you can come find me or Tricia or both of us. But yeah, thanks for listening. And okay, well, okay, that's all for me, and I'll pass it back. No. This is questions.
So that being said, because they posted 2023, it started a year ago, their audit's complete. And the fiscal year starts March 31st, correct? Correct? Yeah, and that would be with the PDL audit as well? And how long does an audit take generally? A week? A month? $5 months? Okay, and will those numbers be presented in 5 months from March 31st? Yes. Well, you're a part of the board, so you could bring it to the board. Yeah. But you will bring it to the board? Okay, and then when will we know whether or not that is going to be done? Yeah, I'm asking these questions because I've never met you before, and I want to talk to you and make sure that I'm understanding how PDL works, because you are a part of the board. So these questions are directed for the board. Yeah. Okay. And I just had one more question that's off topic, and it pertained to the January 21st meeting that was supposed to present the capital asset agreement, because you're the chief administration officer. The capital asset agreement, all the grants signed and approved and applied for by chief and council since 2019 to present, as well as all the maximum annual budgets from 2019 to present. I included you in the email in October, and I still have yet to receive a response from you. I've sent several emails. And so I would like to know when this is going to be presented and what the disciplinary actions are for not getting it to a member within a timely manner.
Can I interrupt a minute here? I was asked to do the chair after the chief left. I have great concerns about the people here that are asking questions. I admire these questions that are coming forward to our workers. What needs to be done? These things that need to be done, I see that. But today is not the day where we're going to ask these questions and throw them out in the fire here. I was asking these people to bring these questions forward today. Today was an annual general meeting. We had a meeting in Regina to set this up. I admire that we're slowly doing baby steps to get these things done. So I'm asking to be patient with our people here. The questions that you ask, they have to take time of their own work to try and get these things done, which should be done anyway, but they have to fit it into their schedules and how we want these questions answered. I too want to see numbers, how these things operate. I too want to see what's going to be the outcome of this. Because I said, you voted me as a headman, so I'm here to protect our people. These people that bring these things forward, yeah, there are lots of talk here today, but the people are asking, we want to see this, we want to see that. I admire you people for that. Chief and council don't always have the questions or the answers, so I'm sitting to you people. Come forward in a nice way. Help us out here. Help us grow. We're supposed to be growing together, not challenging what you're doing wrong. Ask them, this is what you need to do to benefit our people. That's what it was told to me to tell you guys. That's my thoughts of the day. My thoughts are, I said that I admire these people that are online watching us today. There are concerns out there, concerns about our people. I grew up on this reserve. I watched one thing that really hurt our band years ago. It's a bad word we say here. Fiber optic. Somebody invested in fiber optic. I don't know who they were. It hurt our band really bad. For years we had to pay that back. So now the people are very cautious as where they go. Making sure to listen to the people. That's what I was told in my promises. I will listen to the people, what they ask for. I heard Gop asking questions about the store here and that. These are things that need to be brought forward. We're not going to all of a sudden have all the answers and things going to work like a well-oiled machine. As we go forward, we're going to invest in something that you talked about. All these things that people are asking for. So be patient with these people that are working behind the lines. But I admire you for coming here today and sharing your thoughts. They're good thoughts, man. They don't come from a bad place. They come from a good place. They want to protect our people. That's what you sit on that side for. And our job is to make sure these answers or questions are asked in a nice way and done in a presentation and saying, people ask for numbers. Okay, let's have the numbers. So I admire that. One of the things that we ask for is we have job opportunities. Our people. I stand for our people here. You see an investment in Fort Capel today. Tim Hortons, example. He put that there for his people. His people were supposed to work that store. They all started there. Who's working there today? Foreigners. Why is that? Because our people didn't have the energy to keep going to that job. That's why I'm saying we can create jobs, but it's up to you guys to follow through and keep that chain going. That's what I see. Like I said, I see great things happening here. I too have questions for both these boards. Like I said, I come from a good place understanding. I too are watching what these guys are doing. Not to worry, I said, but I listen to the people, what they ask for. One thing that he brought up, I went to a meeting last week in Fort Capel. It's called NRTA. I spoke there. People needed to hear what I had to say. That NRTA ain't going to happen, I said. Why? The chief sent me to meetings at FSIN, AFN. I sat there listening to these people, these chiefs. They can't get along. They're all fighting amongst themselves. Why? We've been colonized. We're already to attack anybody who's going to make good here. Those chiefs will never get along. So we'll never see that NRT happening. But PPK is alone. We're going to make that happen. Because these people that come forward with these answers, questions, we got to listen to them and follow their ways in a good way. A lot of questions are coming here forward. I admire that. Like I said many times, I admire that. So today I ask you in a good way, let's go out there and let's make PPK #1 in this province. But we need your help to be patient as we move forward. We're going to start the benefits that are in these things that are happening today, we might not see the profits from it. But who's going to see the profit? Our grandchildren, our children down the road. That's who these things are going to happen for. So anyway, thank you for your time, but I have one more question on the floor there.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the visitors this morning, the ones that came and did the presentation and shared information. I have to say, it sounded very interesting, but when you have a hearing problem, it's very hard to hear what's being said, and I really wish that something will be done about this place so we can understand what's being said out there. For me, I had a hard time to hear everything here, but it sounds like we're moving forward. It sounds like PPK is getting on board, and like Blaine said, we just need to get together and understand each other here in this community so that we can work together. And it sounds like, yes, there's a request for financial report. I understand that. But you know what? Do we want everybody else to see our reports, what's going on out there? Once you post it, everybody's going to read it. And that's just the way it's going to happen. So we want people from our community to be able to understand what's going on. So I believe that more meetings need to be done so that people can come here and talk and ask questions. Because for some reason, this is the size of the group that usually come and attend these meetings. Why, I don't know. But if people want to know something, then we need to meet more and talk to one another. And the workers that are doing this job or hired to do the job, I believe they have a right to speak out too, because they too have a process to follow. It's not handed to them on a silver platter. They have to work and understand where this information is coming from, who's gaining what and who's doing what. So we need that understanding as a community. And I know some people came out from Regina, but how else are we going to get people together if we don't call meetings and talk to the people? I kind of heard your report this morning, Keegan, and like I said, I had a hard time to hear it. I'm sorry, that's my problem, but I think it has to do with the building. I really think we need to fix this hearing stuff, because for me to understand what was being said, I just couldn't. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's the building itself. We need to fix that up. And once we get that fixed, I think we'll all be able to hear each other, and not guess at what people are saying. Anyway, have a good day, and if there's no more questions, I was given tobacco, a cigarette to bless the food, if you're ready to eat.
I'm just going to get Lillian to bust the fluid here in just a minute, but I want to do some closing remarks here. I admire for everybody that showed up here today, and the people are on camera. I admire those people because they're interested in our band. They want to make things happen for our band. But I bring some sad news here today. Very sad news. Heben Debbie asked to resign from her position. And we're very sad to lose a team player. She was the one that was keeping that Sparrowhawk in line. So now she's got to train somebody to put in that position to make them go in line as well. So I don't know who that person is going to be. We decided, I'm not sure how we're going to run it. Maybe we'll wait till the fall to have that all a re-election for in the fall. It's coming up soon, so maybe we'll wait till then, but I'm not sure. We'll leave it up to the people how to decide that. But like I said, Debbie's got to pass those books on to the new portfolio person. And I'm honored that that new governance act came out. When I first got elected a few years ago, I went to the band office. I said, where's my job description and what I'm supposed to do here today? Oh, there is none, they said. I said, are you crazy? Every job I went to had a job description, what I was supposed to do, right? It's kind of like a free-for-all. You're like, oh my gosh, I said, it wasn't right. So when they passed that governance act, So now we got to sit in that office there 3 days a week. Awesome. Now we can go get things done. People will be waiting to come in and visit us now and tell their story to us. Hi. But anyway, thank you very much for that, and I ask Layden to bless the food, and we'll have a meal in a good way and leave in a good way today. Oh.
Hey, are we done yet? Yeah.